All right, so far in the Trump case, we've got a lot of things that are just laid out plain as day, fact on fact on fact. We have David Pecker admitting flat out he is the publisher, by the way, of the National Enquirer and AMI. He worked out with Michael Cohen and Donald Trump in a meeting in Trump Tower in 2015 that they would basically catch and kill any negative types of stories towards Donald Trump in order to help his campaign. There was no mention of it protecting his family or Melania or anything like that. It was 100% specifically for the campaign. That was admitted on stand. He also was questioned about if a story for a presidential candidate came up of him, say, allegedly impregnating some woman, cheating on his pregnant wife before and after the birth with a playmate and a porn star, how much money would that have made the paper? He said flat out that that would have made the paper, that would be a gold mine set of stories, and it would have made tens of millions of dollars for the paper, but instead he paid Karen McDougal $150,000. He paid the doorman on this story about Donald J. Trump allegedly impregnating another young lady at Trump Tower. And he also arranged the catch and kill of other stories that negatively impacted Donald Trump. He gave Donald Trump an opportunity to actually create and approve negative stories about his opponents. This is not something he would have done for anybody else. He and Donald Trump went way, way back, but it ties directly in, and he admitted on stand the process of why he did it solely to protect the candidacy of Donald Trump running for president. After he was already elected, he tried to not pay Stormy Daniels. He tried to renege on paying back David Pecker. Matter of fact, he didn't pay back David Pecker for everything he said he would. There were conversations because the non-disclosure agreement and the agreements that David Pecker had with Karen McDougal actually ran out. Karen McDougal did that I think Anderson Cooper interview in 2018 where she went into details about her relationship with Donald Trump and actually started tearing up and apologizing to Melania and how she would feel if she had a husband that did that to her and how bad she felt and everything else. There was a phone call that it came out between Sarah Huckabee Sanders and Hope Hicks, who was the communications director of Donald Trump and the White House at the time. And in that phone call, they discussed actually reaching out to Karen McDougal, reaching out to David Pecker again, and actually extending that non-disclosure and that exclusivity agreement in order to prevent her from going and talking to anybody else because it was such an effective interview. That ties it all in together. Now, Hope Hicks has not testified yet. She's still on the books. Michael Cohen had not testified yet either. But we have had a lot of very, very important people in this process who have testified. So coming up, we still have the heavy hitters of the campaign. We still have Hope Hicks, who's going to gift wrap everything else. And the basis of the trial, the basis of the crime part of the trial, which was the influencing of the election, has already been laid out very, very plainly and admitted to wrongdoing. David Pecker himself said he knew that what they were doing was illegal, and they did it in the hopes of assuring the presidential candidacy and race and winning the presidency for Donald Trump. And when the McDougal story came out on CNN, they tried to further squash that story because he was going to rerun against Joe Biden. And as we all know, he lost fair and square. Bigly. But anyway, coming up in this trial is also the third or fourth criminal contempt hearing for breaking the gag orders. Today, which is Tuesday, he was found, it's the 31st, he was found to have broken the gag orders already. He was found criminally in contempt of court. Guilty. He is being charged $1,000 for each instance. There are 4 instances that have not been charged yet. Those will be addressed at a hearing on Thursday, 2 days from now, which is, I believe, May 2nd. Now, what the judge made perfectly clear today in court, in the hearing, specifically the section of the hearing about the gag orders, was the court has a monetary solution for criminal contempt of court or jail time solution. The maximum he could bring each count is $1,000 per instance. That's all he's been able to do. But today he left a very, very strict warning for Donald Trump that the only other remedy, if he does it again, was to put him in jail. Now, he's not going to mind doing that because the morning of his first criminal contempt of court hearing, Donald J. Trump posted, this was about a week ago, that, well, today's the day I'm going to jail. I'll talk to you when I can, basically on Truth Social. He will use going to jail as a reason for a fundraiser. He's running out of those excuses. So he's actually pushing the buttons to be thrown in jail so he can make a big stink out of it. What he doesn't realize is he's bitching so much about the temperature in the courtroom because, you know, Central Court in New York City is a very, very old building and doesn't have very good heat this time. Just think how he's going to feel on sitting on a stainless steel toilet rather than the gold heated ones that he has in his homes. So this is just getting worse and worse for Donald J. Trump. You can tell the things are starting to wear him down by the things he's posting, the things he's saying. But the interesting part, more than anything, in my opinion, about the court today, part of that gag hearing is the judge demanded that he take down some very specific postings on Truth Social that have violated the gag order. Gave him a time of 2:15 Eastern time, and Donald Trump actually did remove those posts, not only from his Truth Social feed, but also from his website. So there is something going on where he is listening a little bit, but you can tell everything's getting to him because of how he looks, how he acts, and the things he says. So pay attention, ladies and gentlemen. The next couple of weeks are going to bring in Hope Hicks. It's going to bring in Michael Cohen. It's going to bring in a lot of other very, very, very strong witnesses. And it's pretty cut and dry. So we will see. I will keep you updated. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together, and justice will be served. And pay attention to how this is all playing out. We're still awaiting the final word from the Supreme Court. Who knows how that's going to go? And we're seeing Donald J. Trump in the courts bring in some guests finally. Today was Eric Trump and Ken Paxton, the disgraced, impeached, basically exonerated by his Republican friends because they had all the power in Texas, show up in court for him today. So we'll see. God bless.